Thank you so much. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone. I'm ecstatic to be here with you all. My name is Husi Kekar. I am a market director banking with JP Morgan Chase, and I am a woman on the move. I'll tell you why I'm here. When I think about my academic experience, my financial experience, my professional experience, I have been very blessed to have phenomenal guidance and excellent leaders in my circle that help, guide me, influence me, and help me make the best decisions that's ultimately going to help me be successful in life. And the purpose of me joining you all is I want to pay it forward. I'm incredibly passionate about helping not only you, but all women around the world. And I agree with our CEO, T. Duckett, when she says, when we all work together to advance women, society benefits, future generations benefit. And to be honest with you, it also is a great way to increase the confidence, especially when it comes to our financial journey. And if you're not convinced yet, I'm actually going to have you guys join me on the next slide. And I'm going to share some interesting statistics with you all. This just further validates the importance of us collaborating with each other, learning from each other, and helping one another advance personally, professionally, as well as financially. Did you ladies know that the wealth gap is 32 cents on the dollar compared, it's actually 32 cents less on the dollar compared to men? And that 51% of our household CFOs are actually women. 40% are actually primary breadwinners. 88% women say increasing education will increase their financial confidence. I'm actually one of that 88%. I firmly believe that, and which is why I'm so excited that we're doing, this session, and we're all going to learn about each other and help each other identify a fantastic roadmap. I have some more statistics for you. When it comes to liquid assets, and an example of liquid asset can be a paid off home, funds in a savings account. Females have less than 20% liquid assets compared to men. And 70% of women feel they do not have enough money for retirement versus 50% of men. You know what? We are Zooming, and this session is going to be great. It's going to be great because of your interaction. So let's go ahead. We're going to put up the chat box. Sarah, if we can have that chat box up. And right now, I would like you guys to share with us in the chat box, type in if you are surprised by these statistics. What are your thoughts about these statistics? Go ahead and type it in the chat box. Is this surprising, familiar to you? What are your thoughts about it?
A lot of not surprised, Husi.
Yes.
A lot of sadness.
Yes, not surprising. You know what? We're going to keep this conversation going. Speaking of which, before we actually get into the meat and the potatoes of this session, let's actually do that poll,
Yes.
Sarah, if you don't mind. This pandemic, COVID-19, has caused us all to evolve very, very quickly. And to ensure that we're doing our absolute best, giving you an inclusive experience, answer the first question. How comfortable are you with Zoom? Just the first question, just the first question. Oh, wow, it looks like we have a lot of yeses. Okay, give you guys some time to fill that in. Don't be shy. Awesome. You know what, Sarah? It looks like most of us during this session are comfortable with Zoom, which is great. And for those of us that are not, it's A-okay. The beauty of this is that we're going to have multiple ways for you to engage. So we're good to go. Sarah, we can go ahead and close that out. Excellent. No worries. I welcome you all. Have you put that bullet point number 3? What does that mean to you? create a financial roadmap for our financial future. Create a roadmap for our financial future. What does that mean to you? Put your response in the chat box. Awesome. Great. Sarah, what are some of the responses? You want to share that with us out loud?
Yeah, having money when you need it, establishing realistic and reachable financial goals.
I love it.
Saving for big goals in life, security for myself and my loved ones, having savings for emergencies. So you guys are typing too fast. Okay. Planning for the future, having retirement, being able to buy a house and having emergency savings.
I love it.
Creating a foundation.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. You know what? You all shared such great ideas. And guess what? We want to learn more about your perspective. Already from the comments that you typed, we can see that we all have different perspective, and that's the beauty about such sessions. I appreciate your participation, and we welcome your participation. I want you all to have the peace of mind that this is a no judgment zone. We are all at different stages of our lives. We may be at, have different financial situations that will ultimately impact our perspective. There is no right or wrong answer here, so be very confident in that. Feel comfortable, and I welcome your perspective. So in that chat box that we're going to get very comfortable using, feel free, since this is our safe zone and our environment, I would love if you have any other suggestions of what we can do to make each other feel comfortable and included in this financial conversation. Go ahead and put that in the chat box. Great. Miss Sarah, if we can get your help on reading some of those responses.
Nothing yet.
All right. It looks like we are all in agreement, so I'm giving you all a big thumbs up, and thank you. Go
we
for it.
Test our reactions?
Sure, absolutely.
Does everyone want to give their thumbs up if they're okay?
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Excellent job. All right, so let's get focused. Based on the current knowledge and what you ladies are bringing to the table right now, what do you think gets in the way of our financial goals right now? Feel free to type in your answers.
Debt, fear, not sure where to start with a debt.
Absolutely.
Standing in my own way, student loans, instability of career,
yes,
not getting paid enough, lack of income.
Lack of income, instability in career. You know what? These are all very valid, very raw, and very true. We're all experiencing a pandemic right now. I would love, Jocelyn, if you unmuted yourself and share a little bit of your perspective of what you volunteered on there. You know, what do you think gets in the way of the financial goals? And I want to understand more of your perspective.
For me, I think like one of the things that I wish people had taught me about was, or I wish I had guidance on how to negotiate for higher salary right off the bat. And I'm lucky because I used to work in government sector, so all our salaries were published online. But that's when I noticed that even within the government sector, there was such a huge gap between men and women. And so I really had to learn how to negotiate for myself. And that, I know it might not sound like a lot, like, I mean, it was $5,000 a year, but that $5,000 a year does add up. So I wish that someone had told me about it, or someone had taught me how to negotiate for my salary. And then also the second thing is I've noticed a lot of times, especially for immigrants, for people of color, our parents come to the country with very little knowledge on especially when it comes to finance. And so, you're constantly on that survival mode. And then when it comes to you, you're just like, okay, even now that like I'm making this amount of money, like how do I learn how to invest my money instead of just spending it or saving it? Because I mean, yes, we can save a certain amount, but also like you need to be able to invest it in order to make the money work for you. So that's and those things were not taught in school, so unless you're a business major or something. But it's really, I at least for me, I did not learn that in school.
Well, first off, Jocelyn, I want to say thank you for your vulnerability. I really appreciate your honest and raw comments. I definitely can relate with you. You're not alone. Many feel the same way that you do. And you're right, these type of conversations are not as common. But you know what? When we start volunteering and being vulnerable and asking questions and bringing what has worked for us and learning from what has worked for other women, we can make people feel comfortable. We can help them. And when you said that salary negotiation, I've experienced that. I'm a market director banking in the financial industry. And when I first started, very similar background to yours, coming from a family where you are not supposed to ask, it's always given to you. You should appreciate it. It was really, really difficult for me to vocalize that. And so I share that with you because we're all in it together. And you're right, in order for us to achieve our overall goals, not only identify it, but also share tactics in which it may feel uncomfortable, but ultimately it'll help us. So thank you so much for sharing. Can we give Jocelyn a huge round of applause? Give her a reaction. You are awesome, excited. Thank you, and keep the participation going. That's exactly what this session is about. When it comes to a financial journey, it just doesn't end right now. Today, we're going to discuss, much like what Jocelyn did right now, starting with where we are. Session 2 will be focused around savings. And then session 3 will be focused around credit, another hot topic that's out there, important for us to all understand. But today, we are focused, and we're going to zoom in on starting with where we are. The following is our agenda. What you can expect today are 4 activities. And in those 4 activities, you can expect breakouts. We've already started using the chat box. We've already started using the polls. And at the end of the day, we want to walk away with substance. That substance is going to come from you all, and that's going to come from the knowledge that we share with each other and the real life experiences to help us all connect the dots. So I look forward to it, and I am inspired by your vulnerability and your intellectual curiosity, and thank you for it. Ultimately, we'll have some homework items, and what I'm really excited about is the action that you all are going to take after today to bring your financial goals to life and help you get closer and ultimately achieve your financial goals. And we'll discuss that towards the end. So speaking of goals, let's chat. A goal, according to the dictionary, is the object of a person's ambition or aim or desired result. That is what a general goal is. But in your chat box, can you help by sharing what is a financial goal? What is a financial goal? I know we started digging into that a little bit earlier, but in your chat box, let's go ahead and type away. And Sarah, if you can share a couple of those responses, I would love that.
Got it.
What is a financial goal? And an example could be.
Oh, we have one. You ready?
Yes.
Ani says, for me, having savings for the future and for emergencies, paying off student loans, having an investment property, owning their own home one day.
I love that. All of that are great examples. Paying off debt, college education, retirement planning, saving for a rainy day fund. These are all examples of financial goals. A trip to Greece could be a financial goal. Why not? So that being stated, why is it important to have a financial goal? And I think we have here Malia. I'd love to hear your perspective. Why is it important to have financial goals?
I think, I mean, my journey is a little different too. My dad is in finance, which is a really big blessing, but I think I wish he would have like taught us more practical things. And so for me, I mean, I was always taught like in my culture that like the man is going to be the provider. But now that I'm realizing like I'm not in that majority that got married when I was really young, right? And I'm only 24, but in the culture that I come from, that's the norm. And so I'm realizing that it's so important to create that ability for your own future and for your family. And that's what really motivates me is like now that I am on my own, I mean, I never realized that this was so important.
I love that. And Malia, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. And you're right, you do bring a unique perspective to the table. And what's exciting about this is we're going to learn so much more. You're right, you know, we can never make assumptions. One size does not fit all. And just because someone in our family or our closer circle may have that experience doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to automatically gain it. And to be really in control of our financial situation, it's really helpful to understand where we are at and also understand where is it that we want to go and where is it that we want to land, which will also help us define what goals we have and what should be our priority. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about myself as well, right? And thank you, Malia, for sharing. As an example to keep the conversation going. I mentioned earlier that, you know, we're at different stages of our lives and everyone has a different perspective and a little bit of something different to bring to a table. I'm a mother of two. I am also the oldest child for parents that have now transitioned to being empty nesters. I also have a brother who's in college. So as right now where I'm at, I am juggling multiple priorities for multiple people. And the decisions that I make financially, academically, whatever may be professionally, not only impacts me, but it impacts everyone within my circle, which leads me to my financial goals. Currently, I have two. One of my financial goals is I have two beautiful children, Haley and baby Shaq. Haley's 7 years old, baby Shaq is 4 years old. I want to send them to college. And my, planning for college education is a long-term goal of mine. And the reason why, Malia, much like you, it's I've experienced too many women in my lifetime suffer by not having access to college education, by not being able to, my mother is one of them. She wanted academic education really bad, but because nobody planned for it and no one helped her and she didn't have the resources needed, she was not able to reach that destination. Additionally, I've seen other women not finish college or not get that, and it was too painful. And having been a child in that environment, I experienced the pain, and I don't want my children to go through that, which is why college education for my children is one of my long-term goals. My second goal is to be able to send my parents to Mecca. They sacrificed so much. They also came from Afghanistan with just $200 to this country, and they sacrificed a lot for myself and my sibling. So as a small token of my appreciation, I want to provide that end-to-end experience on my dime. If it's important for them, it's important for me. But that being stated, those two financial goals, along with juggling the other priorities of life, is pretty much what I have to plan for in order for that to happen. So as you think about your overall goals, whether it be college education, planning for completing college education, whether it be buying a house, whether it be saving for retirement, whether it be having a rainy day fund, there are multiple ways that we can actually connect with that. So what I want to do is an activity. In the chat box, I welcome you all to page 3 in your financial journal, and we're also going to use the chat box. If you do not have your financial journal in front of you, if you can't click on it, don't worry, it's a-okay. What I'm going to do is put up a statement, and I want you guys to react to that statement, okay? Strongly agree, strongly disagree, or somewhat in between. And then we'll talk about it more. But as we're doing this activity collectively as a group, self-reflect and start digging deeper into your own financial goals, okay? So here's statement number 1. I feel like I have a good sense of where my money is going. I feel like I have a good sense of where my money is going.
You have a couple folks that agree. Some disagree. A couple strongly agrees.
Nice. Now, can you give me an example of who strongly agrees?
Oh, it's moving really fast.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay, Fiona, could you tell us?
Let's have you unmute yourself, Fiona. And can we have you share your perspective, please?
Sure. I don't know. I think I have a good sense of where I spend my money, and I check my statements like once a week, and yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing, Fiona. I love that practical example that you gave. It's so important to be aware of, what balances are in your account. Here's a second statement. I feel like my money goes towards things that are meaningful to me. Go ahead and react in the chat box. Do you agree, disagree?
Some are creating their own responses. Somewhat agree. Unfortunately not. They go on to bills. Somewhat disagree.
We
have a little bit of a mixed bag on this one.
And that's totally okay, because everyone has a different perspective. It is unique to you. Here is statement number 3. I would like to develop better savings habits. I would like to develop better savings habits.
Lots of agrees and strongly agrees.
Excellent. I love that. And let's see here. Elizabeth, actually Brenda Michelle, if you can unmute yourself for me. And let's hear your perspective on this statement.
Hey, hi to all. And thank you. You mean the statement for the savings habits?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I would just talk a little bit. So I always been a savings person in my family. My family told me, like, if you can afford it, if you don't save it, you cannot pay it, you cannot buy it. So always comes like savings and then pay it and then never have a debt. But I want to know how to save it and make that savings grow and not have it there. I wanted to that savings keep growing and just not have it static right there.
I love it. It sounds to me like, Brenda, you definitely are going to be joining that saving session in the future. And the beauty of it is we're going to be talking about it additionally. I love that your mind is going there and that you are making a conscious decision to do that. That's exactly what this is about. I really appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like a plan beyond month-to-month expenses. I would like a plan beyond month-to-month expenses.
Lots of strongly agrees.
I love it. Yes.
I have a really fun workbook for that, but lots of agrees.
Right. Okay, let's go to statement number 5, actually. I would like to find ways for my debt to be less of a burden. I would like to find ways for my debt to be less of a burden.
Lots of agrees and strongly agrees there. It sounds like a lot of people have a pot of debt somewhere.
Yes. Now, speaking of debt, in that chat box, can you guys give us examples of the type of debt that are out there that's a burden for people?
Here's one. Upcoming grad school loans. I still have some.
Absolutely.
Student loans, credit card debt.
Yep. Very
Lots
relevant.
of student loans, car loans.
Yes, car loans, absolutely, personal loans. You know what, Sarah? Since we have a lot of students here, can we have one of the participants who actually stated the student loans to share with us a little bit more about their perspective on that, since that is such a relevant topic for this group?
Let's go to Lorena Leza. She is in Boston, Massachusetts.
Hello. So I guess I'm still in college, so I'm halfway through my undergrad degree, but I'm already starting to think about, what that's going to look like when I graduate, considering, I also still have to look for a job. I don't know how that, that's just things that are like uncertain. So it's thinking about like how. And there's a really great tool that they have on the website where it tells you how approximately you have to pay per month, given like how much you have already. So it's just just keeping tabs on that and seeing how to best handle that.
I love that. First off, congratulations on advancing your education. That's very impressive. And then additionally, you're absolutely correct. You know what? I love that. Yes, let's go ahead and give her a round of applause. Women lift each other up. I love that. You know, when you mentioned such a valid point when it comes to tools and resources, there are tools that are available, absolutely. Like for myself, an autosave on chase.com is a feature that I use in the savings account. That being stated, being familiar with what comes in and what leaves your accounts is very, very important. And when we lose track of that, that definitely can cause our debt, especially without a plan, you know, increase the burden for us all. So let's look at statement number 6. I feel like I have a good understanding of money-related topics. I feel like I have a good understanding of money-related topics.
Got some gut reactions? Nope. Strongly disagree. Lots of disagrees.
Yes. And can we get, Sarah, can we get one of the participants to share their perspective of, you know, lots of disagrees? I really appreciate the honesty and the vulnerability. That is the purpose of the session. And let's have more light on that.
All right, let's go to Logan. Logan's in Texas.
Hello, Logan.
Hi. So I guess just with that statement, I understand like the basics of a 401k and a Roth RIA, but whenever it comes to stocks and investing, that's where I don't have a full understanding of ways that I could invest my money long term. So I guess just the money related topics would just be basically like long-term retirement goals and what's available, and then maybe what's the best option, or if it varies per what, you know, type of financial situation you might be in.
Absolutely. You know what? You're speaking to a financial doctor, and I can tell you as a financial expert that that's a very, very relevant conversation. Now, based on my experience in the banking industry especially, I'll tell you, not just clients, but also family members, we notice that there's a shift. Historically, retirement was talked about by a certain age group when you got to a certain age, and now it's on everybody's mind, whether you're a Z generation, whether you're a Y generation, whether you're an Xer or even a baby boomer, and it's very true and very relevant. And money-related topics, what we're doing right now is an example of a money-related topic conversation. In terms of tools and resources, many banks, many companies that are out there offer that, including JP Morgan Chase, and you are absolutely welcome to connect with like an advisor or even your local banker, your go-to person at the bank, to kind of seek what options are out there and what advice is available. But for the sake of this session, what you're doing right now is helping build on that knowledge. And understanding and taking a deep dive to what's important to you will get you one step closer. And attending future sessions will build on that knowledge. And eventually you're going to find that you're going to have more and more experience with this. So you brought up such a valid point, and it sounds like you are going to be attending a future session as well, so we can help you, take that retirement knowledge and resources accessibility to the next level. When we were completing this, what did you guys notice? What did you guys notice? I would love someone to unmute themselves, be brave, and kind of share the overall takeaways of that activity to them. All right, Margaret, let's hear from you.
Do you want to hear from a student?
Sure, let's do it. Absolutely.
Ani's writing, so maybe, Ani, do you want to unmute yourself? She just writing, I used to think most people understood finances except me.
Yep. You know what? You're not in it alone, and I appreciate you typing that, and I appreciate you acknowledging that. And to be honest with you, especially with the world evolving and society evolving, even look what's happening with the pandemic. Some people have never experienced this, and that definitely can cause interruption to one's plan, and it can cause an interruption to one's thoughts as well. So thank you for saying that. Do we have anybody else that would like to comment on this before we continue?
What I wrote.
Go for it.
I have a lot of friends who are, in that industry. So, whether they're studying finances or they're working. And I always felt like even around them, even when they tried to help me, there was so much stuff that I just wasn't aware of. And like reading books and articles just wasn't really cutting it because there were basic things that I didn't know. And I felt like I was really dumb compared to them. And so it's really nice that there are other people who can, understand and are kind of in the same situation so we can help each other out.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you're definitely not dumb. And I so appreciate that. You know what? Asking questions and acknowledging that is really the right thing to do. There's no such thing as that. So I appreciate you sharing your perspective and sharing that thought, because many have felt that way. They feel that way. And we can't promise that people are not going to feel that way in the future. So your idea of working together and bringing these resources to life is the right one. And I love it. So thank you for that. Now, how about when you think about your current situation, how might that impact our overall financial goals? Fiona, what's your perspective?
I guess just like I'm graduating from grad school soon, and like I don't know about my job prospects, and hopefully it'll be okay, but just figuring out how to negotiate the best offers in order to save money and pay off debt simultaneously and set myself up for a good future financially.
Excellent. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And actually, let's continue on to activity number 4, because this is going to build on that knowledge. What I got away from this group so far is that you are very intellectually curious and you want to take action in your financial journey. And we can help you do that today. So I welcome you to page 4 and 5 in the financial journal. Don't worry, I'll have a snapshot of it as well. When you think about your overall goals, also understand that there's different type of goals, okay? So if there's something you want to achieve within less than 6 months, then know that that is an immediate goal. If there's something that you want to accomplish within less than 2 years, that, my friends, is a short-term goal. If there's something you want to do and absolutely reach that destination, then that is a medium-term goal if it's between 2 to 10 years. And any financial goal that you may have that's 10 plus years out, that is a long-term goal. Earlier, I shared that I have 2 financial goals. One is baby Shaq and Haley's college education. She's 7, he's 4. So for me, that's a long-term goal. And my parents going to Mecca, that experience is a short-term goal because I want to make sure that happens within 2 years. So in the next activity that you are all about to complete, kind of think about that. There's a questionnaire on page 4 and 5 of the financial journal, and it looks like this. So what I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to complete this. I'll play some music in the background. This is an individual activity. And if you don't have that in front of you, just grab a piece of paper and just follow the questions on the screen. When you're done, give me a thumbs up and we'll continue. Okay, your time begins right now. All right, Sarah, it looks like most people are done.
They are, they are.
Well, that was fast. Nice job. Hold this. This is for your eyes only. We're going to reference it in another activity shortly, and we're going to keep it going. Now, we talked about having a plan. Let's talk about making your plan. You asked for financial knowledge, so here it is, okay? Take your notes. We're giving you that knowledge and resource. When you think about your overall financial plan, make it smart. When I think about the SMART strategy when it comes to financial fitness, I kind of think about it as a GPS. And the reason why I say that, so when you put in an address that you've never been to at in a GPS, it tells you what roads to turn. It gives you detours. And so when it comes to a financial plan, by making it smart, it's in that same way. It helps you identify potential roadblocks, potential setbacks, and helps you remain focused so that you can get to that end destination at the time that you desire. One of my favorite authors, Antoine Suppé, he says, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So take your goals and make it smart. S is for specific, break it down. M is for measurable, have a target. A is for achievable, make it achievable. Don't put pressure on yourself, baby steps, right? Make it relevant. What is your motivation? What is your passion that's going to help you remain consistent and focused? And then make it time bound. By when will that be accomplished? And here's an example of it. I decided I want a rainy day fund. In that rainy day fund, I want to put away $200. I want to have $200 by December 31st of 2020. So here's my smart GPS system that's going to help me get there. I will have that rainy day fund in a form of a savings account. So I'm going to open up a savings account. I will have something like an auto save, which will automatically take money out of either my paycheck or the deposits that I make to go into my savings.
I do that.
Do you? I love that. My target is $200. I want to make it achievable so I don't disappoint myself. So the how is I'll set up a budget. Many of you guys talked about being aware of what comes in and what goes out. So for me, I'm going to put away $10 a week for 20 weeks total. That means 2 Starbucks out the door weekly. And I'm okay at compromising the 2 Starbucks because I want to have the peace of mind about my financial situation at nighttime. And then absolutely, I will achieve that by December 31st of 2020. Friends, I just took a financial goal and I made it smart to make it easy and achievable for me. What I want you guys to do in your financial journal, please turn to page 8. Again, if you don't have it, just follow the template. Take one of your goals from pages 4 and 5 in your book and make it smart. There's an empty template for you. I'll give you guys a couple of quick minutes. When you're done, give me a thumbs up and we'll continue on.
Lucy, Sydney would like to know if there's a link to this fabulous music you're playing for us.
Oh, Girl, it's Apple Music. And it is ambient, soft jazz, smooth jazz. It helps you meditate.
I will also say for Spotify folks, I know you can get that for free on college campuses.
Yeah.
I have one very similar, and I think it's just called the calming workstation.
Yeah, I usually put in like workplace music because you never know with some of this music that's out there. But I do agree that it's very relaxing. It sounds like a lot of people are finished. So with your permission, we'll continue on. Can I get a thumbs up for that? Perfect. All right. All right, so there's another part to this activity. Now that you have taken one of your goals and you made it SMART, we're going to send you into breakout rooms. In that breakout room, you're going to have other participants with you, other friends from the session, and all I want you to do is share your goal, how your SMART goal, and share a little bit of each other's perspective. I'll give you guys about 4 minutes to complete this. Just be mindful so that everyone has an opportunity to share, and then you'll be brought in automatically. Sounds good? So all you're doing is you're going to disappear into breakout rooms. Don't worry. You'll see me short because I know you're going to miss me. And then when you come back, when you get into the breakout room, just share with each other what your SMART goals are. Hear a little bit of perspective. Please share. Be okay with sharing. And then we'll come back and regroup. Give me a thumbs up if you're on the same page as I. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and send them to breakout rooms.
I'm going to pause the recording and pause it when we come back.
Go for it.
Okay.
So let's actually have a couple of you share live. Just a couple of you guys share your SMART goal with all of us. So just unmute yourselves and then we will hear you all out.
I'll call on a few people.
Go for it.
This is my favorite part. Okay, we'll do a little bit. Alicia from New York.
Okay, so one of my goals, I guess like what I want to do is eventually own a home. Why that's important to me is because I want to have like that stability or like a place that I can call my own, and like for me, my parents, my family, like somewhere everyone can be. So like everyone knows they have a place to stay just in case something happens. And then when will I do it? It'll be sometime in the future, but I would like to start saving and preparing for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That was beautiful. Great, great job.
We have time for one more. Lucy, do we have time for one more?
Do. Go for it. Do one more. Absolutely.
Kasima from Seattle.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kasima.
I put down, we're sharing our SMART goal, right?
Yes.
Okay. I put down my SMART goal as home ownership, and I want to complete it by 2026. So I don't know how home ownership works. I had to do a lot of Googling. Apparently there's something called a down payment I have to save for.
Yeah.
So I put down a random number because I wasn't sure how the down payment works. So I put down $40,000 and I said I want that by 2026. And an average home in Seattle is $800,000, and it says the down payment should be 5%, so that's $40,000. So I need to set up a savings account, and after I graduate from graduate school, I want to start saving $10,000 a year, and by 2026, I will hopefully have $40,000 to afford a house.
That is outstanding. Excellent, excellent job. And you know what? Your estimation was fantastic. You brought up such a valid point. Many of you guys, if you're not, familiar with the homeownership process, you definitely can attend what's called a Chase Chat with JP Morgan Chase, or see your local bankers to see what kind of programs are available for you. We have many sessions that are out there that will help explain the home ownership process and give you live tools that'll make you feel more confident in becoming a homeowner. So I really appreciate you sharing. You know what? I felt you did a fantastic job of that. Let's continue on to our core values and our beliefs that influences and drives our behavior. And when you think about core values, it really is thinking about our ideal life. what are we doing, who are we with, you know, what is our happiest moment, what is our most proud moment, that ultimately helps us define what values are important for us. I shared with you earlier background about myself, my family background, who I'm with. You know, my happiest moment was when I made, you know, when I got a job and I got my first paycheck, because for me, that was like financial independence. My proud moment was when I became a mother and I could see, you know, how the beautiful creatures and the beautiful children and how much you can love someone. And so family is definitely something that's important for me. So here's a couple of examples of that. If we can keep that conversation going, what are your core values? I just shared with you family, college education, earning your own paycheck, working hard. These are all some examples of it. So if we can have a couple of you guys share what your core values are, that would be outstanding. Or actually, Sarah, if we put up the chat box, we can just have everyone just type in at least one of their core values in the chat box.
Perfect. I just asked that question in the chat box, so just one, at least one, folks. Christina has shared service as one of her core values.
Absolutely.
Working hard from Margaret, family from Ornelia.
I love it. And
community building,
thank
traveling, creativity, health, career advancement, kindness, independence.
I love that. These are all just excellent examples of it. Now, when you think about that, whether it's community involvement, whether it's service, whether it's kindness, whether it's work ethic, how do our core values impact our overall financial goals and our financial plan?
Do you want some volunteers, or would you like us to answer in the chat box?
Well, we can, you know what, let's ask for a couple of volunteers. This is not a shy group. They've been doing an excellent job.
Yeah. Let's go to Joanna Palma.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Are we just sharing what a couple of our core values are?
Yeah, what are your core values, and how do you think that drives or affects your overall financial goals?
I think it's the first one I put right away was family, and then right after it was work ethic, just because I have my parents are both immigrant, so I've always been taught to work very hard and never ask. I guess as an early age, I wanted to work for myself. I didn't really want to keep asking them. So I know independence has been a big one, and I want to go back to grad school and stuff, so I know it's going to be hard, again, taking out the loans. So I guess just knowing ahead of time, like, my finances and my budget, just so I can be financially independent and continue that work ethic.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And you know what? Many of us are in the same boat as you and have experienced that. Just know whatever our personal relationship is and where we're heading, be aware of how your own individual beliefs, your core values can either be helpful to that, or in some cases, be harmful to your overall journey. So as you're doing that, think about, is it baggage, or do I need to move on from it? Should I just acknowledge it and understand that it might be a setback and it's going to hold me back? Or is it something that really needs to be addressed? Because our core values ultimately determine how we spend, how we save, and what our perspective of overall money are. Now, when you think about your final destination and reaching your goals, you know, many have told us that increasing their income, many of you have even shared that, increasing your income, increasing your savings, improving credit score, decreasing debt, definitely are items that or tools that they'll be needing to ultimately reach their goal. So now in your chat box, I just gave you a few examples. Go ahead and type what you feel like you need to reach your goals. If it could be something on this list, and it may be something different. Let's quickly hear your perspective.
I think, was this the second polling question? Do you still want to do that?
Sure, let's do it. Go for it.
Relaunch. And we'll just put it for, I know we have to wrap up in 4 minutes. Our fun and financial literacy is moving very quickly here. Okay.
And look, there you go. You know what? Increasing income, increasing savings, that's absolutely correct. You know, we obviously, you know, having a job and then knowing how to negotiate for salary can help you increase your income. Additionally, many of you guys talked about investments. So having that additional flow of income, whether it be residual income, whether it be passive income, whether it be investment property income, that can also help you increase your income. And when we see you for future sessions, that's focused around the tactics of savings, we can discuss that further. And you also talked about increasing savings. So I mentioned that I use autosave. On my savings account, you can have money taken out of your paycheck automatically. You can set it up, you can have direct deposit. Another tactic that's very popular these days is, set it and forget it, whether it be in a form of 401k, whether it be automatically deducted from your paycheck, whether it be you consciously putting it an automatic transfer to your savings account, are all different tactics of increasing your savings. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. And we definitely will be able to share more about that in future session. Now, when you think about your takeaways and your homework, I'm going to challenge you guys and encourage you to organize your financial documents. Think about, take that financial book, revisit it, and do some of those activities with your friends, your girlfriends, your own family members. Post your goals just as you would, with some of your academic goals. And then track your milestones, celebrate, give yourself a pat on the back. And use something like a calendar to reference your milestones and be very proud of that. And each time you accomplish that, it's only going to build on each other. So I so appreciate it. What I would like for you guys to do now, somewhere in your financial book or on a blank piece of paper, based on the information that we gathered today, because this time went by really quickly, write down one thing that you're going to do to make progress towards your financial goals based on the information provided.
And I know we have to wrap up very, very shortly too. So folks, this is a pilot that we are doing today. And so we are curious if you would be interested in visiting session 2 of Fueling Your Journey and having a larger conversation around building your savings. I think that's a really big conversation to have right now. And then the 3rd session would really be about credit. I think I'd be the first person to sign up there. So please just drop a yes, a thumbs up, a clap, whatever you'd like to let us know if this is something that you want, need, and would like from our Chase partners.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Our time has come to an end. Session 1, Start With Where You Are, has come to an end. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much for your participation, your engagement, and your perspective. And we look forward to seeing you in future session. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye, everyone.